Welcome to Roger's Cooking Show 101, Season 2, Episode 7. Today, this show is all about lumpia, or whatever. As a kid, I was introduced to lumpia by my Aunt Elenita. She's Filipino. When I was a kid, my Uncle Billy and Aunt Elenita came to visit us, and Aunt Elenita and my mom were in the kitchen. Seemed like all day long, but it wasn't all day long. They just had a lot of stuff going on because they made a lot of lumpia that we could eat that day. And they also made extra to freeze. And that's what I do about 2 or 3 times a year. I'll make a bunch of lumpia. I'll eat some that day. And then I'll use my food saver vacuum thing and put about 4 or 5 or 6 lumpia in a bag and freeze it. And that way, when I want lumpia for the next couple of months, I'll pull that out, heat up some oil, fry it up, and then boom, there you go. But it's Roger's Cooking Show 101 Style Lumpia. Now the lumpia that I'm making today, I'm using actually egg roll wrappers, and the filling is consistent with things that I like. I'm calling this lumpia in the name of Aunt Elenita, my favorite Filipino aunt. She's the only Filipino aunt I have. But she's the first one to turn me on to lumpia, and I've been eating it ever since. Why do I like lumpia? Let me go back to that. I love Asian flavors. I like crunchy textures. I like to make things that aren't so difficult to make. They're not too complex. And I like things that go with sauce. And I like meat. I'm actually going to give you a price breakdown. So when I went shopping for these ingredients, I went to Walmart and got everything there. You need a pack of large egg roll wrappers. I know it's lumpia, but I got egg roll wrappers. Those are $1.98 for about 20 wrappers. You need 1 pound of ground pork. That's $4.37 a pound. I bought this package of already shredded cabbage and carrots. It's a mix. That was $1.67. You need 1 tablespoon of fresh chopped ginger, ginger root, 1 tablespoon of freshly chopped garlic. That's about 3 cloves. You need a bunch of green onions, like one of these bunches. That's what I'm talking about. The chopped ginger was 22 cents for this chunk. 22 cents. The garlic is 50 cents a head for the whole thing. A bunch of green onions, all of these are 50 cents. You need 1 teaspoon of salt, which is about a penny's worth. You need a teaspoon of pepper, that's about 2 pennies worth. You need a teaspoon of sesame oil, that's about 10 cents worth. You need about a 1/4 cup of low sodium soy sauce. That's about 25 cents worth. And about 2.5 cups of vegetable oil, $1 worth. So the recipe I'm making today will net about 20 to 30 lumpia. And the total price for all of those ingredients is $10.62. I went to Carl's Jr. the other day. I bought me some hand-dipped chicken strips, and I normally don't do this. I would dip them myself at home. It cost me almost $14 for one of those meals. A drink, french fries, and chicken strips. I'm making about 30 lumpia for $10.62. You figure that out. I think it's time for Roger's Comedy Show 101. That's right. You know I have these dad jokes that I tell, and no, I'm not sorry. Does anybody know what the difference between a toilet bowl and a cooking pot is? No? Okay then, I won't be eating homemade soup at your house then. That's right. Now, I've told this story a little bit to students, but I wanted to be a chef after high school. Me and my cousin actually had plans to go to France, Cordon Bleu. You know, that was the chef school to go to. I really did. I figured it would add some spice to my life. That was a joke. Part of it was a joke. So now, a customer asked if anyone ever orders raw meat on the menu. And the chef said, yeah, but that's kind of rare. Hope you got that one. Enough of that, let's get going. And I've already pre-cooked the pork in a big pan. That looks like hamburger, but that's actually pork. I'm going to turn the flame on, and I'm going to actually use my senses as I'm talking to you to make sure that I'm not burning the pork. So I'm going to hear for sizzles. I'm going to smell to make sure it's not smoky and burning. So as I continue to talk to you, I'll keep an eye on that and my vision using my senses. I'm going to show you how I chop garlic and ginger and green onions, and then we'll get rolling on adding those things into the recipe. And the pork's doing fine. I don't need to stir it yet. Some of you have seen me do this before on another show, but the way that you clean garlic, you have to be very careful. Don't just erratically go and do it. You want to make sure that the knife is firm on the garlic. Be careful when you smash it, and just smash down on it. Don't think you're like a ninja warrior and like do some of those moves when you're cooking in the kitchen. You're gonna get hurt. And we'll do that again for this one. And if you've never done this before, practice it with somebody in the kitchen who's done it before. Your mom, your dad, your brother, your guardian. And then, I don't know if you can hear that, but I can hear that the pork is sizzling over there. Those are things you want to be mindful of when you're cooking in the kitchen. The pork was sizzling. I went to stir it up, make sure it was cooking well. I checked the flame. I had to turn it down. You just have to be mindful of these things. You'll get used to it when you start cooking in the kitchen. So now we have the skin off of the garlic, and you want to be careful. Use 2 hands and just rock the knife back and forth. Some of you might have, or your parents might have, like an apparatus. It's a garlic press. You can simply just put the garlic in the garlic press and squeeze the garlic out the end, and it comes kind of chopped out that way. Do this carefully, but you can take the knife and kind of scrape it. Scrape the garlic on the board to smash it down a little bit more. You get all that juice. That's about a tablespoon of garlic. I'm going to add that to the pan. The next ingredient that I'm going to chop is fresh ginger. Fresh ginger, it's like, how do I get the skin off of that? Well, you can do this and that and that, and you'll be doing this forever. Or you can just take a spoon and scrape the skin off, as easy as that. Can you guys see how easy that skin comes off just by using the edge of a spoon? Another great thing about this is it's not a sharp spoon. You don't have to use a sharp knife. It comes off pretty nicely. But you want to skin it enough where you'll have about 1 tablespoon of fresh garlic after it's chopped. And I'm kind of guessing here that that's going to be about that much. You can either use a grater and grate the ginger. Here's how I do it. I'm careful. Notice how I'm holding the knife. I'm holding it firm. I have a grip on the handle. I have my thumb and finger holding the blade, and I have control of it. You don't want to start cutting things up with a sharp knife if you don't have control of it. You want total control of it. And you want to be careful. And I just simply chop the ginger just like this, rocking the knife back. Make sure you keep your fingers clear. When you're cooking in the kitchen, you want to always be safe. When you're working with sharp objects, knives, heat from the oven, heat from the stove, grabbing pans that don't have a handle, or at least don't have a plastic coated handle, you want to make sure that you're careful when you're doing things like this. That's a little more than a tablespoon, but that's okay. I love ginger. That's going into the pan. And then another ingredient that needs chopping for Roger's Cooking Show 101 Lumpia is green onions, otherwise known as scallions. I've already cleaned them, but this is how they come basically. I usually chop the end off. If you work in a restaurant, the chef will say, no, that's a waste, don't chop that off. I do, just because. And then I'm actually going to add this whole bunch of green onion. And again, you want to be careful. You want to chop it where the pieces come about that size right there. And use the edge of your knuckle right here to guide the knife so you don't cut the tip of your fingers off. So just keep chopping. Be careful when you get to the end. And when I get to that end, I just throw that away. And then I'll take the green onions, pop it in the pan, and I'll show you what we have going on in here. I turn the heat down. We have the green onions, we have the ginger, we have the garlic, and at this point I actually want to add some salt. You want about a teaspoon. And then you want about a teaspoon of ground black pepper. And then you just want to stir those ingredients around. And then at this point, that's when I'm going to add this tricolor coleslaw mix, just like that. And then you want to add about a teaspoon of sesame oil. And some recipes call for like 1 tablespoon of low sodium soy sauce. I put a bunch in there, about 1/4 cup. And at this point, you want to turn the flame up a little bit more. This is going to cook down about 2/3. So I pre-cooked this ahead of time, and what I just showed you in the pan turns into this. Good. After you cook it, you need it to cool down. You need some water or egg wash. Egg wash is just an egg beaten up into a bowl with a little water added to it, and it acts as a glue, so when you roll the wonton, it will stick on the other side. I found that water works just fine. Set your wrapper with the point facing up and down like a diamond. And then you want to grab about a heaping tablespoon of that cooled down mixture. You want to kind of form it into a log. You simply just take the point that's pointing down, the corner that's pointing down, roll it over the mixture like that, kind of pull it in a little tight. You don't want to be aggressive with this, and just start rolling. And then you want to make it look kind of like an envelope, but really your main objective is to roll this thing up. You don't want to be aggressive with it. You can take your time. And then when you have about 1 inch or so left in the wonton, you want to keep rolling and seal that thing. And let me show you that again. Once you get the hang of this, it goes good. You put the filling below the half mark here. You grab the point from the bottom, roll it over the mixture, kind of pull it back tight like that, and then give it 1 roll up to the point like that. And then you want to fold the sides over and make like an envelope like that. And then you want to roll forward to the top point, and when you get to the edge, give it a little water, and it seals it up. You don't even have to put Roger's Cooking Show 101 Style Lumpia filling in there. You can use hamburger, you can use tofu, because you know It's not just Roger's way or the highway. It's any way you want to make it. I wish you guys could smell it in here. I'm gonna show you how to fry these up, all right? When you fry these up, you want them sealed. You don't want the stuff to leak out. I'm going to add about 2 cups of oil to this pot. I'm using this pot today to keep the grease from splattering all over. Hopefully it'll splatter just on the sides of the pot. How about we do Roger's Comedy Show number 2 right now. Let's do that. Take 2. This one will be funny. They're all funny. What are you talking about? What do you call 2 chefs working together in the same kitchen? They're taste buds. What did the pizza chef say to his boss to get a raise? I need dough. I need some dough, boss. Yeah, I know you do. You're making pizza. Need that dough. Does anybody know why having a barbecue in Italy is not very popular? It's because the spaghetti keeps falling through the grill. That's why. Let's check the oil. Do you guys know how to check the oil in a pan when you're getting ready to fry something in there? No, you don't want to get some water and splash it in there and see if it's hot enough for the water. No, 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 no. Just take your lumpia and set the corner in there and see if it bubbles a little bit. And you can see it's not bubbling, so I'm going to pull it out and we'll wait a couple more minutes for that to heat up. You want to wait till the oil is about 350 degrees. At one point in your home cook career, you'll be able to tell when the oil's about 350 and you'll learn how to adjust the flame. One thing we can use, we got this candy thermometer. We can put it in the oil and see what the temperature is. It's getting close to 350, not quite, but we're almost there. I'm going to want to turn the flame down a little bit. Let's see if the oil's ready for me to drop this in there. You guys see the bubbles? I know that oil's ready. Let me drop these other 3 in there. This doesn't take too long. The mixture is pre-cooked. Really all we're cooking is the outside, making sure that it heats through the inside. Now, sauces that you can use for lumpia can be many. You can use whatever sauce you want. A traditional sauce that they use in the Philippines is sweet chili sauce. I like using sriracha sauce. That's right, I like sriracha. So you want to make sure you have a paper towel on a rack or on a plate. Huh? What? That's what I thought. Yep, that's right. I know what you're thinking. I saved one of the green onion stalks. I'm actually getting ready to present to you the plate of Roger's Cooking Show 101 Lumpia, or whatever you want to call it. Lumpia egg rolls, Roger's Cooking Show 101 Style Lumpia. You can call it so good stuff that's wrapped in a wrapper and fried up. It's so good. You can call it that. You can call it whatever you want. All I know is it tastes good. I'm showing you how you might be able to make it a meal. Get your favorite sauce. Why didn't I know that was going to happen? I'm just going to go like that. Voila. There you go. Roger's Cooking Show 101 Style Lumpia, or whatever. Look at that. See that steam coming off of there? I know. I'd be sitting there going, I want some too. But I just dip it in that sauce. It's lumpia, it's an egg roll, it's whatever. All I know is it tastes good. All right, I'm done. How's everybody doing?